Warning, the following video has flashing lights and also includes content that may be deemed inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Richard Mccandlish, yes, from OCR. Once again, you have found your way into the darkness of the Fox Den as we try to shed some light on the infamous / nefarious Ohio Dogman. Yet I have been sleeping for so long and really do need to feed. Absolutely delicious, and I do appreciate the feeding material you did bring in for me, Mr. Mccandlish. Now, without further ado, it is time for OCR and Midnight Lycanthropy to take a walk into the madness known as the Dogman.
Stood up. I said, oh my god, it's a werewolf. And everybody in the car freaked out.
My creatures of the night, yes, welcome back to another episode of Midnight Lycanthropy here on StarFox Radio. Yes, of course, we do have a friend of LordeStarfox popping back in to hang out with us tonight. You should be well aware of OCR, yes. I am talking about Richard Mccandlish. He was here just a few weeks ago talking about some of his strange Ohio Dogman encounters. Rich, my guy, how you doing?
Pretty good, Kenny. Thanks for having me on your show again.
Of course, it's always great to sit down and link up with you. I've been pretty busy just editing and trying to get caught up on things. Yet is what it is. What have you been up to, man?
I've been pretty busy. We just did the Beaver Creek Bigfoot Fest. That was on the 18th, and then we turned right around. We just got done doing the Moonshine Festival in New Straitsville. It was a 4-day event. That was really good, and a lot of people come up to the booth and had a good day on that. But I didn't get a chance to really introduce who was on my team. On the first cast, I'm a right-hand man so far right now that I'm teaching about everything I know. And Bigfoot is Larry Ramsey, and I'm teaching him wood talk, and it's the communication of the Bigfoot on directional. And then which of course, I hired a skeptic on my team. Which his name is David Levering, and he solely what we find out there. I always go to him. You give me your opinions, what you think, and because all I put out there, since this is my hobby, I just put out real documentation, and not that mockumentary stuff. It's real field research. Real time. Nope, you can't Photoshop 8mm, that's for sure. And what is captured is what I present to the public. Whether it be castings, pictures, audio, video. And like I said in the beginning, it wasn't really for the public, and um, but like I said, a picture leaked out, and then I've been having to prove myself ever since. And so far, it's they're seeing that. Even though I tell people, I go, I'm not telling you this is Bigfoot or Dogman. You tell me what you think you see in front of you. You look at these tracks and you tell me what you think they are. And then, jokingly, some people, come up and they say, oh, well, that's a platypus, Like, oh, really? I could have sworn I thought it was a manatee, and they start laughing, chuckling about it. No, but there are things out there, Kenny. Like I said, just like that video, the Dogman, um, that I captured on video at our cabin when I was out down there writing music for Atlantic at the time, and that was quite something there, Kenny. I tell you, because at the time I didn't know what was coming at our cabin. Something was always, starting to pick at the windows at first, and then you'd hear like a howl growl in the distance every once in a while. That'd catch my attention. And then I was like, well, that's awful weird because that's not no coyote. We don't have no wolves here. So that ruled out anything else. But it was loud, real loud, and but in the distance. And I thought, well, I'm going to set up the camera. And I set up the camera, and the noise I was hearing was coming from back behind the cabin. And I was like, okay, well, I'll set the camera out there on our deck facing our steps. That's aiming towards the next lot next to us over there. And because the sound comes from that corner, so I figure, okay, well, we'll see. And, well, days went by, just going out, changing the tape, watching it, and nothing, and nothing, and nothing. And then all of a sudden, one evening, I sat down to review again, and it's like I'm like, oh, what is that? Just the shadow of his head when he come between our place and our neighbor next to us that has the back end of his camper, which is 8 feet wide and 8 feet tall. When it come around the corner back there, all you could see at the time was the shadow of his head, and it looked like he was back there eating something. I don't know. And then every once in a while you'll see him. He'll raise his head. He's sniffing the area, and then to take it back down, and you can see his ears, and you can see his muzzle, and then what in the tarnation? So I put the camera back out again, and a few days went by, nothing, and then it did it again. But this time, it was doing the same thing. You can see him on there. It's like he's brought something back there. He's wrestling around. He's eating something, and then but he's there for a good bit, probably 20 minutes or so. Not like the first time he was there, maybe 5 to 7 minutes or 8. And I kept thinking, well, what? I said, why ain't he coming out this way? He's always stopping around the back of the corner of the cabin. And so I thought, well, that's where I was working on trying to change the spectrum of the beam of the camera, to change the color to make it invisible. But I put this blue, like chromium mylar. It's like thinner, thinner than saran wrap type, and I just put it over the IR on the camera, and for the night vision. And I put the camera out, and next thing you know, not only did he come back, and he was doing the same darn thing again, back there, doing something, eating, doing something, sniffing, who knows? But he's at the front door, and And this time he steps out enough to where you can see his whole shadow in front of our steps. Then that would be horizontal. If you're looking at the screen, the shadow come out and it'd be horizontal, laying on the ground. And you can see him there. You can see the hocks in his legs. You can see his tail going up and down, and he's standing. And he's doing that for a minute, and I don't know what he's doing still. And the next thing you know, you hear this pop sound. And after the shadow walks away, you hear a pop sound. And I think that's where he put his hand against our siding, and because it was really cold outside, it's like a pop sound. And then right there, you can see he peeks his head around the corner of our cabin above the steps. It's like that wasn't a bear, and a bear don't have a long fluffy tail. And like I said, I just they always say as a frog's hind end watertight. Yeah, that's where you get your weapon out. And because I was like and still today I'm just, I don't know, when you see one of these things, it's just it goes it's just like it don't belong, but it's just like it puts that feeling of dread in your bones when you see this thing. You're like, that thing don't exist, or whatever it is. It's walking around on hind legs. And it's just no, no, no. That's nothing I grew up and knew. And since from now 6 years back, that's when those things just showed up. And when I've seen them, they act like they look like they get dropped, like they got dropped off or something. They're looking for a location, and then all of a sudden they're sniffing around, and all of a sudden off they go. And it's like I don't know what they're up to, but it seems like the ones that I ran into were it's like tactical moves, uh, stealth, and they do things around the property that get you to run around all over your cabin, looking out every dadgum window there is to try to see this thing, whatever it is, and it evades any type of light, beam, anything that comes out. And then you hear them growls outside the cabin where they're not outside the window. The growls are coming downward at your window. And like I said, it's just when I was out there, they just seemed to like keep you up, pester you all night. But I poured the tracks of them, and I've got video of one with the pictures, and I let the public decide. I go, hey people, yeah, I'm here right here in Hawken County, Ohio, and this is what's in your backyard. Now you tell me what you think it is, because when you see something like that, you're thinking, okay, well, why aren't there any reports of deer or people's livestock or anything? But you don't hear anything. And I have searched and I searched and searched for, I'm a professional man tracker. I got out of the military. And I have never seen a den. I've seen Bigfoot nests and stuff like that, but no Dogman den. And like I said, I've had other people say, hey, I'd like to come over and, we'll find that Dogman den. And I'm like, really? You're going to go with me in the area in the woods that I grew up in, and you're going to come in here and you're going to find something for me? That's almost like an insult. You've never been in these woods, and you're only going to be here for like one day, and you're going to go home, but you're going to find something that I've been here all my life. Okay, that's priceless, if you ask me. But they probably mean well. Like I said, it just does. It just does something to you when you see something like this. Not like really the Bigfoot kind of. Well, it depends on your demeanor, I guess, how you handle situations like that. But I've been a Bigfooter all my life since I seen one at or heard it at 10 and saw one at 13, and I just been like a hound dog that broke off a chain. I just, I had to see it again. I had to get something to try to prove that what I saw, and that's all I'm doing, Kenny. I'm out there trying to collect hard evidence now. What I saw is just not from the Bigfoot, but just not even the Dogman. There is other things out there, and like for instance, like the Ohio Howler, caught him 3 hours standing in front of me, 10 feet away, clear as a bell, and that'll be aired. And like I said, it's just when it costs you, a lot of dear friendships and a marriage and more friendships. It's just, you look at it, is it really worth it? And I'm thinking, well, yeah, it is for me. I know other people think, oh, you wouldn't catch me chasing a dream or a mirage or something stupid. It's like, well, that might be you. Until you see one, get out behind your computer, or if you could put your phone down, and all devices, if you could actually, tear them off of your body to get out there and make no noise or quit texting, and stay out there for a week, you might see or hear something. Who knows? But for the real researchers that know, like me, Kane Michaels, down here in Hawking, we know what it takes. If you want real good, hardcore evidence, you're going to have to stay out there quite a long time, and be dug in. And I don't know what everybody else is, the way they do their hunts, but mine's a little hardcore when we get out there, in gillies and stuff. But some people won't do that. They'd rather sit around a campfire and tell stories. Oh, you're not going to get anything. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm strictly a Bigfooter, not a cryptid hunter. But I have cryptid tracks and I have cryptid pictures. Now, you can look at them and you make your own decisions. And these ones aren't blurry, and they're not something. Oh well, no. Come down and see for yourself. Come and look. And I'm not into this, like I said, for money or be on TV or anything. I just want to teach Bigfoot stuff out in the field. But where I track him at, well, not track, he finds you. But out there, I just give classes for free. I don't charge nothing. I give free pouring classes and everything. So, like I said, it's just been a lifelong hobby for me, and I'll probably still keep on doing it. But things is, your health turns a twist. I had a double hernia operation to now they just found 2 massive blood clots. Now I'm on blood thinners the rest of my life. Boy, at 63. But who thought that you couldn't live this long without a tune-up, huh, Kenny?
Huh. Right. No, great stuff right there for sure. And yeah, unfortunately, when we do get a little bit older, duct tape and, the good old Gorilla Glue doesn't work so much anymore. Think how I feel, right? I was born in 1778 in Massachusetts, so.
But yeah, like I said, Kenny, I'd like to give you a lot of stuff on the Dogman if I run into him again. Like I said, there's probably a couple more things I got of him that I haven't sent you, but I really don't want to run into this thing again. And I'll send you some LiDAR stuff too that we got on LiDAR. But me, no, I really don't want to I hope I don't run into that or them things again. Because like I said, it's just like the one down in their pit. You don't hear these things come up on you, Kenny. That's the thing. Now they use the trees as shade and hiding and bushes or whatever they're hiding behind. But 1 minute you're sitting there looking around, you don't see nothing. I mean, you do 2 360s and look around. You're like, okay, and then you take a couple steps and turn and look to your right, and there he is. He used the trees, or he steps out from them, but you don't hear him. See, and then he'll look at you, uh, and then I'm just like, just froze like a stone, and just looking at him, and it's like, well, bring it, whatever you got, bring it, whatever, dude. But then he sniffs the air, bolts off, like a leap. Oh, there you go, man. It's like, wow. But we're not talking real close. He's probably like 35 yards from me, but that's too close. Too close. That 100 yards would be too close. Like I said, these things, I don't know why they haven't captured one of these things yet, or they probably already have. I don't know. But if there ain't no slaughtering of people's livestock around, well, somebody's feeding them, wouldn't you think? It's because they require a lot of protein. Well, the critters I saw, they require a lot of protein to keep that girth. I mean, it really wasn't really heavily muscular, but big head on him, blackened eyeballs looking at me. Like I said, some had a short muzzle, some wide, some long. I just want to know where they come from, but I'm not gonna I'm not going out there to look for that critter, that's for sure. But you can't really say that neither, because every time I go out, Kenny, and I'm out doing investigations looking for Bigfoot, I run into cryptid tracks or some kind of cryptid thing. They seem to be hanging around the areas where Bigfoot is, it seems. That's what I believe. But now they might do that some different somewhere else, or they might build dens somewhere else. But they don't build dens here. But well, like I said, this is what my eyes personally see, and my knowledge of being a tracker and avid hunter, trapper, skinner used to be, and I know the ways of the woods. But those don't belong. I mean, when I see the Bigfoot, he looks just like a black bear out there foraging, eating berries. Type. But not that other critter. But I'd be sitting there in a ghillie and be there for like a couple days, 2 3 days, and all of a sudden, it's like, well, man, I think I'm going to be heading out. And just when you start to think you're going to get up, and then you hear some noise off to the right, I'm going to freeze. What is it? And it's heavier than a deer. And then I caught on film there's a baby Bigfoot youth come down off his hill in the woods and got on this little lower flat knoll into the brown grass, green grass out there, and just sat down, just plopped down, and was pulling the grass shoots up, playing or whatever. I got pictures of him, and I was only like 40 yards, maybe 35, of a youth. Yep, plain as day. And he did, and he only did that for like maybe a minute, maybe. And he just flipped and rolled and took off, went through that tall grass out over in the other part of the trees left of me. And but again, there's probably a mom or dad around, but again, you don't see anything, and you don't hear anything. And like I said, I've been a Bigfooter all my life, and only the times you get to hear that critter walk is when you're dug in and you catch him off guard, and you hear him coming. You hear him walking. You hear you hear that sound. Oh yeah, you can tell he's packing a lot of girth on him, and anywhere from 8 to 1,000 pounder. You never know. But you can tell the girth of him when he's walking. And but then they stop because they probably see just that like night like day, because I did several of the trail cam things with that blue chromium mylar testing. I put corn out and everything, put the trail cam up, and sure enough, deer come out there, you know, a couple of raccoons, squirrels, regular, and all of a sudden, here come the deer, sticks his nose right up at the camera because he sees that beam. Well, I throw in a quarter mile of the road, put it on the other side of the road, put the feed out again, and this time I put the mylar on it. And all the critters ate, the deer ate, and nope, nothing came up and looked at the camera. And I did this test for almost about a year. And every time I put the blue chromium mylar on there, the deer didn't put their face up to the camera. But when I took it off, every time, deer put its face right near the camera, looking at the beam. So I was thinking, well, I don't know if I did create something that they could not see at night. I don't know. But when I tried it out there with the Bigfoot, I haven't captured anything really, except for, like I said, all the pictures that I've taken of a Bigfoot have been in broad daylight, Kenny. Broad daylight. And a lot of people say, "Oh, we got to go out, you know, nighttime." I said, "No, you don't got to go at night. If the Bigfoot wants your attention, he's going to get it. Believe me, he'll get your attention." Like me and Kane Michaels is down there in the pit, and we were just we're just being ourselves, just walking along, and you could hear it. You could hear that woof, 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 a big log come flying over from one end of the falls to the other and crash into the trees. And I looked at Kane. He looked at me, and I was looking for his expression on his face. He turned around and looked at me, and he goes, "Sweet. Did you see, buddy? That was awesome." What? I go, "Yep, that's the right demeanor that I need out there in the field. Calm, cool, and collected. Because when they start making noise out there, Kenny, it's just like people almost. You know, when they start making noise over, and you know that there's nobody out there, and you know at 100% sure that, hey, that's a critter, or that's Bigfoot, or whatever it is. It's throwing rocks at us, but we always never look over there, or if they do a mouth pop or whoop or whatever, we just like, we hear you or whatever. And boy, that really gets them, because when you ignore them, they really amp up things. They're like, "I know you heard that rock you hit. I threw it right near him," you know, and just ignore it, buddy. Watch it amp up, and and we're hoping that it just keeps amping up enough to where they come in closer, and closer, and then there's your chance to get that one and only shot, picture, movement, or anything you can get. Because, like I said, they know anytime you whip out something, they know that's important to man, some kind of device, but they know it's important to man, just like them trail cams they put up in the forest. Bigfoot ain't stupid. He knows that that's important to man because they keep checking them all the time. And they usually wave sticks in front of them, make them flash. So he wants to flash, they'll burn out the batteries on them. Because they can see the trail cam at night through, even like IR, you can see them at night. The batteries in the back of them make them glow like a candle. They're like glue, you know, and nope. That's why we don't use trail cams out there. And we just do everything old fashioned and old school, like the way I've done for 50 years. And my methods so far have been proven successful. And out of everybody else, they got some, they do whatever. Hey, that's fine. You got any tracks? You got any pictures? You got any audio and video like me? Well, if not, well, maybe you ought to change something, do something different. But yeah, like I said, I'm training my guys the best I can of the knowledge that I know, Kenny. And I'm no expert, and I'm not no professional. Don't even claim to be. Don't even want to be a TV feller. All I want to do is just show people the evidence that I have collected in 50 years out there and teach the public. And like right now, here June 7th, I got to do a library talk. And then on the 19th, I got to do another one. where I'm speaking to the public. And that's all I'd like to do, just educate the public on what's in your backyard. And whether you believe me or you don't, that's okay. When people come up to my booth, I go, believer? Are you a non-believer? Skeptic? We'll take them all. Because I got a skeptic on my team. Because like I said, what we do out there, it's not about me. Like when you see these TV shows, it's always about one person or two people. Da, da, da. No, not like that. We're trying to put out real documentation here, and it's not no mockumentary stuff. Not for entertainment purposes, actually. It kind of gets entertainment when you get out there and you fumble and fall off a cliff. You can get that on the B-roll film and air it, but they won't do stuff like that. But no, what we put out is real evidence, real research. And I tell my guys, and nobody is going to make something bigger than what it is, stretch it out, make some big hayrube out of if they saw something, it was like maybe a 5-second, witness of seeing that. They'll make it out like, turn it into a half hour or an hour show and just babble and blah, nothing really. No, it's we want to let the people see these tracks, and we want to let them see the audio and the video and the pictures that we all have. But like I said, I got the best man in the world I could ever pick to be my right hand man, old Larry Ramsey. He's smart, he's intelligent, and he learns, he knows. Being sharing with the evidence, my evidence with Kane Michaels, and again, Kenny, real researchers. If you got real stuff out there and you're a real researcher, real tracks, real pictures, audio, and blah blah blah, if other real researchers would get with other ones, and you don't have to show them the names of the roads, it's just a topographical of whatever, and say, hey, yeah, there are sightings up here or whatever. And then you take your map and put it up, like I did with Kane. And buddy, right there, I didn't know him from Adam a while back. And when we got together for the first time, and I showed him my map, and he showed me his, you should have seen the correlation there, Kenny. You didn't even really have to line them up. It was probably off maybe a 16th of an inch. When we lined them maps up together, I was at the lower end of Hawking. He's at the higher end of Hawking. Yeah, boom. We just discovered the big, gigantic route of travel. Now, you look at any other research, and I'm not going to show you where my stuff is. You ain't going, buddy. We don't care where your research is. I'm not even going to go there because I stay prevalent to my hunting areas or where I research. I don't want to go in your hunting area. I'll never be back there again. And I don't know them woods. Why would I want to go there? I don't even know where to look for him over there, but I know where to look at him here because I grew up here. And I know it's any tree chains, any of this, everything, instead of being a weekend warrior and you got more evidence than anybody when you're out there on four-wheelers and saying, yeah, we had a video, yeah, I bet you did. Okay, I'm not rolling it out or anything, but highly likely because people keep putting out pictures. Yeah, I got a picture of Bigfoot. He's always here. He's always there. No, he's not. The Bigfoot, he always moves usually 3 to 4 days, or sometimes he'll stay there a week if the conditions are good. But they're always moving, and because you got to figure what's out there. But like I said, they're masters of camouflage, and like I said, there's a lot of things out there, or a few things I've heard out there that I don't recognize what it is. I really don't know what it is. And like I said, but I always invite people. If you want to come and see my hunting areas where I go, I'm not hiding anything. This is where I saw this stuff. This is where I captured this. This is the evidence that I have. And I'll take you there if you would like to go there. In a couple places it's deemed where, people have gone missing. But hey, that's where I go. So, like I said, all I request, if you come down, anybody comes here, wants to go out, sign a waiver, That's all you got to do, and let's go. And that's it. I don't have anything to hide because, like I said, I want to be a teacher to teach people. In '63, when you see yourself, oh, where am I going to be at in 5 years? Hopefully not underground. you know, or end up on a milk carton somewhere. You know what I mean? So that's all I do, Kenny, is put out real evidence. And like I said, I got a bar none team up there. Like I said, we're not professional. We're not experts. We just put out what we report, what we find in the findings of what you call the Southeastern Ohio Bigfoot, Southeastern Ohio Grassman. Now we either run into a Genoa or a Ohio Howler or Dogman or whatever else out there. All we do is document and pour the tracks. That's all we can do, Kenny. Like I said, we're not out there with big hunting, big game rifles or not. Nope. Just a staff, ghillie, a 45, usually, nuts, fruits, and berries that will dehydrate or whatever we take out there to eat. And what's indigenous to the area we're researching in. If we're going to be there staying overnight. And I tell my guys, just eat what's indigenous to the area. So there ain't no really strange smells going in the air of a Hostess cupcake or some dumb bell over there rippling, crackling papers, that I've had to get rid of. Well, Kenny. But I'm glad I got the team I got. This is really, really, really good. And like I said, I give old Larry Ramsey, great credit because he has to drive over an hour and a half to get here. And he's been here numerous times. And I know he's anxious. I know he wants to get going. I said, but there's so much knowledge and to learn. And he's seeing that and he knows. And I like his patience. I like his attitude. I like his eagerness. And same way with Dave Levering. I like his as well. And like I said, hopefully here in the future, we'll be able to really, really nail down maybe some really good stuff down the road, maybe for you, Kenny, that will really open the eyes and ears of your listeners on your end in Maine.
Great stuff, man. Totally appreciate you sharing all the things you've been up to. And in a few weeks, of course, we will get you back on here when you have some more time. Yet, as we are starting to tie this up for the evening, is there anything else you'd like to touch base on or any future projects you have planned?
Well, like I said, what I'd like to do, and I know if I say it, somebody's probably going to go ahead and jump on it and be the first. But how people got, members and, subscribe, where you got all your members. Well, I want to interact with my members. It's like the first time I've never heard anybody do that. And I'm like, oh, your members. Well, that's why you have members, because they ask questions on, hey, is it really like that out there in the field, man? Yes, it is. Is it that bad? I said, yeah. I busted 3 teeth, cracked my skull, and dislocated source. Yeah, it is like that. And but now I'm giving them a chance coming up that we're going to post on OCR. If you'd like to come out on an overnight investigation with us, you're more free and welcome to come and have fun. And but interacting with our members, and I think that'd be a good thing to do, because they're the ones that support you. They're the ones who, give you the pat on the back that make you feel good. It's glad to be appreciated. You know what I mean? Through your members and your fan base. Yes, it is. It really helps.
Yes, it does, my friend. That is a very acute and great observation right there for sure. Yeah, definitely. Let me know how I can help you promote that and stuff, and we'll definitely get it out there for you for sure.
Great. I'd really appreciate that, Kenny. And I think we're probably out of time now, anyway.
We still have a few minutes left, but yeah, no, thank you for definitely coming and hanging out with us tonight, like always, shedding some light on some very bizarre and interesting information. Keep us updated,
Yeah.
definitely, with anything that we can help you with or anything in general.
Yeah. Like I said, you can see the light there on the left. You can see where there's a wooden step and there's an angle into the left of the edge of our cabin. Well, you can see that goes up towards our front door, but it's the top left corner. You'll see in the light where the light stops. You can see the top left when that shadow goes to walk around that corner. Well, I mean, where he goes to move from where he's standing out front, where he goes to move. Watch the top left, and you'll see his whole head. In fact, his whole head come right around the corner and look right at the camera. And yeah, it's quite something.
Yikes. You heard that. Rich will be doing some very interesting stuff coming up here in the near future. We will also have him back on here sooner than later. You can check out our previous episode down below in the good old playlist with OCR and StarFox. Also, if you do enjoy everything, please like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for hanging out tonight, my friend.
Well, again, thank you for having me, Kenny, and I appreciate being on the show, buddy.
Oh, my creatures of the night, I do adore every single one of you. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the truth to the algorithm. And I will catch you very soon. But make sure to keep your head on a swivel.